While trying to fix the TARDIS's chameleon circuit, the Sixth Doctor returns to Foreman's Yard on Torres Lane in 1985, where he meets his old enemies, the Cybermen. They have come from the future to change history by sending Halley's Comet crashing into Earth. Gustav Leiten, last seen working for the Daleks, is involved in the Cybermen's plot. Is Leiten working for the Cybermen himself or someone else? Welcome, friends and companions. How are you today? It's time for a live stream. Sci-Fi Fantasy fans and all sort of fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel for Doctor Who, my most beloved sci-fi series. I will watch this series till eternity. Sometimes this channel is called Random Entertainment Channel. Random because we'll discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books and music. Don't do politics or religion. These are not entertainment. Random because we will broadcast on non-fixed times, actually many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what Drama broadcast is. I want to serve as much people as possible. I want to meet as much people as possible. That's the reason I do these live streams from different times. Because we have different time zones in this world. Yes, simple as that. Random also because we have no guests or different guests. It depends on what you show me in a live stream or panel. If you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via a comment on one of the YouTube videos, or you can visit me on meet me on Discord server, and we'll look what is possible. So it's also possible to invite me for your channel for a live stream or panel to talk about the things we are interested in, what we are liking, and so feel free to invite me also for your channel. I want to contribute to you, and I want to make friends and network. So I'm available for that. So the Discord server is called Run the Entertainment Channel, tag Doctor Who. You invite me very quick on Discord because I bump the server regularly. So cheers, mate, have lots of fun. This is your host, Enigmatic Joker. So today we have a sixth Doctor story called Attack of the Cybermen. The sixth Doctor is Colin Baker. So first some general info about this story. So Attack of the Cybermen was the first serial of season 22 of Doctor Who. It was the first Doctor Who story to be produced in 45-minute episodes and the first since Resurrection of the Daleks to be aired in the format. Both methods will see their end in the 1963 series with Revelation of the Daleks. 45-minute episodes would not reappear until Rose, the first episode of the show's 2005 revival. And from that point on, the 45-minute format would become the norm for Doctor Who. The story also returned to Telos, the setting of the 1967 TV story, The Tomb of the Cybermen. That's a second Doctor story, Patrick Troughton. So the story also returned to Telos, the setting of the 1967 TV story, The Tomb of Cybermen, also reintroducing its cyber controller, albeit redesigned to fit with the then current Cybermen design. In the process, Attack of the Cybermen attempted to reconcile Telos' depiction as the Cybermen's homeworld in the Tomb of the Cybermen with a claim in TV story The Tenth Planet that the Cybermen homeworld was Mondes. The Tenth Planet story with first Doctor William Hartnell. In this case, Telos was redefined as a planet temporarily colonized by the Mondesian Cybermen with a new native Telosian race, Creons, being introduced. Ironically, Prose, Doctor Who, and the Cybermen had earlier posited the opposite explanation. purporting that Telos was the original Cyberman homeworld and that Mondes has been the first of their colony planets. TV story The Doctor Falls, met de 12 Doctor Peter Capaldi, would later posit yet a third incompatible explanation, and alleging that Cybermen evolved separately on Mondes and Telos through parallel evolution. So choose your canon. Okay, this episode is also notable for featuring the first televised instance where the chameleon circuit within the Doctor Stardust is shown operational since the very first episode of the series. It was known to have suffered from a fault that left it in the shape of a police box. Now temporarily repaired, the outer shell of the TARDIS is witnessed changing shape for the first time on screen. However, the repairs are imperfect and the TARDIS assumes random forms against the Doctor's will. Some of which do not blend well with the places it lands and make it hard to tell where to re-enter the machine. The chameleon circuit soon breaks down and the TARDIS becomes locked in its police box form once again. This story also features the return of Lyton, last seen in Resurrection of the Daleks. Resurrection of the Daleks is a fifth Doctor story with Tegan and Turlough. His role in this story serves as a prime example of an occasion where the Doctor greatly misjudges someone's pure motives. Namely, he assumes that Lyton is working with the Cybermen instead of against them. His actions here indirectly lead to Lyton's death, and the Doctor states that he has never quite misjudged someone that badly before, and swears never to do so again. Okay. This is a two-part story. I'll dive now into the plot. So get ready. If you haven't watched this story yet, I highly recommend you to do that. Otherwise, you can listen further. Decide for yourself. Okay, let's go. Two workmen are inspecting a London sewer. They find a new brick wall where no one should be. One of them wanders off and vanishes, while his colleague is attacked by an unseen assailant. The Sixth Doctor is performing repairs to the TARDIS chameleon circuit, something he has meant to do for years. But Perry is worried that he is over-exerting himself following his recent regeneration. She suggests he get some rest. He responds that she could also use some relaxation and steers TARDIS towards the Earth. Something begins to draw them off course. Back in London, the stranded mercenary Lyton now leads a small gang of criminals. They are planning their next job, a diamond heist. One man, Russell, is sent to procedure explosives, but instead phones someone to tell them what Lyton is planning. The TARDIS is undamaged and now following Halley's Comet towards Earth in 1985. The Doctor decides to investigate what affected their flight. Despite Perry's misgivings about the comet's reputation as a signal of impending doom, Lyton's gang enters the sewers via a prepared entrance concealed beneath a garage, planning to blow their way into the diamond vault from below. Before he joins them, Lyton adjusts a piece of advanced technology, while his two Polish allies patrol the street. The TARDIS lands in the scrapyard at 76 Todder's Lane, having tracked a distress signal nearby. To Perry's amusement, the chameleon circuit alters their appearance to a painted French dresser, inconsistent with a young yard. As the Doctor and Perry search for the signal's source, They are silently stalked by the policeman. In the sewers, Russell hears someone following the four thieves. Lighton orders a Payne to remain behind to deal with whoever is following them while he, Russell, and Griffiths proceed into the dark tunnels. Payne is attacked and killed by the shadowy assailant. When he realizes the distress signal is relayed via multiple points in the city, the doctor decides someone must be observing the transmitter to determine when help arrives. The TARDIS, now a pipe organ, materializes at the garage. And when he sees the absurd form his TARDIS has assumed, the frustrated doctor remarks, "This is getting ridiculous." In a moment of whimsy, he plays the opening notes of a Johann Sebastian Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor, before Perry puts him back on task. The doctor and Perry find the sewer entrance and the armed policemen, whom they overcome before venturing into the sewers. In the dark, they soon find Payne's body. When Lighton's gang reach the newly built wall, Griffiths begin to knock down some of the old brickwork to reach the vault. When the black figure appears in the tunnel, Russell flees while Griffiths shoots at it. Lighton forces Griffiths not to panic, as new wall slides back to reveal Cybermen in a hidden command center. Lighton surrenders. He explains his extraterrestrial nature to the cyber leader and offers to serve the cyber race. The leader states the cyber controller on Telos will determine their fate. On Telos, a group of partially cyber-converted prisoners toil in a quarry under Cyberman guards. Three of the prisoners attempt an escape, killing a Cyberman in the process. Only two make it out alive. The men Bates and Stratton need a third to operate the ship they plan to leave Talos in. Despite this setback, they continue with their plan and head for the cyber control building. They accost a cyber scout on the way and decapitate him, planning to hollow out his head for a disguise. Russell finds the doctor and Perry. He reveals he's an undercover police officer. The doctor disarms him and learns he was investigating Leiden, who appeared suddenly a year earlier and committed several daring crimes with great skill to build his transmitter, whom the doctor had dealt with before during an incident with the Daleks. They return to the TARDIS, disabling the Black Cyber Scout with a sonic lens on the way. However, some Cybermen are already inside the TARDIS and kill Russell. The leader, flanked by several other Cybermen, hurts Leiden and Griffiths in the ship. The leader orders one of the Cybermen to destroy Perry at once. End of part 1. Okay, part 2. The doctor agrees to cooperate with the Cybermen if Perry is spared on the word of the leader and cyber controller, whom the doctor believed dead. He sets the TARDIS coordinates for Telos is placed in another room with Perry, Griffiths, and Lighton. Lighton explains that the Cybermen have captured a time ship that landed on Telos and have great plans for that ship and TARDIS as well. Doctor asks how Lighton knows so much about Telos and Cybermen's plans, but he does not answer. The doctor explains to Perry and Griffiths that the Cybermen came to Telos and annihilated the native Creons to use their refrigerated cities to store cyber troops after the destruction of Mondes, partially at the doctor's hand in 1986. The doctor sabotages the navigational controls with the sonic lens, causing the TARDIS to land in the catacombs rather than cyber control, whereupon it assumes the shape of a gateway. The Cybermen are attacked by a rogue Cyberman, one of many driven insane by faulty bombs. Distraction allows Perry, Lighton, and Griffiths to escape. Perry is rescued by Craydon freedom fighters, more of whom find Lighton and Griffiths, explaining that they answered Lighton's distress call and he manipulated the Cybermen into bringing him to Telos. The Cryans have hired him to help them stop the Cybermen from destroying Telos when they have revived other troops and left. Lighton's mission is to steal the time vessel to prevent the controller's plan from succeeding. He, in turn, needs Griffiths to keep him alive long enough to make it to the ship, paying him with a fortune in diamonds, which are very common on Telos. Meanwhile, the Doctor is confined in a cold storage room, where he meets a Korean prisoner, Flest. Flest says a few Koreans survived the Cyberman purges. They are fighting a guerrilla war, sabotaging the bombs to delay their revivals. She outlines the Cybermen's plan to prevent Monda's destruction by traveling back in the time vessel and diverting Halley's comet into Earth before Mondas has absorbed too much energy. Lighton and Griffiths track down the two escaped prisoners outside the city and convince the groups to ally themselves with each other to capture the time vessel, which needs at least 3 crewmen to operate. Lighton explains that the ship is their only hope and that it will arrive soon. They head into a hidden tunnel, which leads to cyber control. As they approach the landing pad, Lighton is captured by a Cyberman patrol, while the others continue without him. The Doctor is outraged at the Cyberman's plan. Saving Mondes would contravene the laws of time. He is surprised the Time Lords are not doing something to stop it. He realizes it must have been his own people who sent the TARDIS off course, manipulated him into place to be their agent, yet again. Flesh shows the Doctor what is in the storeroom box of a Vestial, a common Telosian mineral, highly volatile, above freezing. The Doctor uses a small amount to escape the room and kill the guard, leaving his sonic lens with Frost. She cannot leave the room without being boiled alive by the above zero temperatures in the corridor, but volunteers to use the lens to detonate the Vestial and destroy cyber control. Leighton is tortured by the cyber controller for information before being forced to undergo cyber conversion. The Doctor and Perry make their way separately to the TARDIS where to lure the Cyberman guards out. The Doctor activates a distress beacon on the body of a dead Cyberman. Before being forced into the corridor and perishing, Frost hides the sonic lens in a box of Vestial that slowly warms up. When the time vessel lands at the platform, the would-be hijackers try to board it but are mercilessly cut down by the Cybermen inside. As the guards leave the TARDIS, the Cryans destroy them at the cost of their leader's life. New Cryon leader Rust urges the Doctor to leave before a Frost explosion is triggered. The Doctor prepares to go, but Perry urges him to go back and rescue Lighton, who, for once, was helping the right side. The TARDIS materializes in the conversion center, taking the form of a police box, but it is too late to save Lighton, who begs the Doctor to kill him. The cyber controller arrives to stop the Doctor, who surreptitiously puts a scalpel in Lighton's hand. Lighton waits until the controller is next to him and stabs him in the arm, which is the distraction the Doctor needs. He takes the controller's weapon and kills the leader, the lieutenant, and the controller himself, but not before Lighton is killed. The TARDIS leaves moments before cyber control explodes, leaving the Doctor to reflect on his misjudgment of Lighton. And that, my friends and companions, is the end of the story Attack of the Cybermen. This two-parter. So, I will name some cast members. The Doctor, Sixth Doctor, is played by Colin Baker. Perry is played by Nicola Bryant. Lighton is played by Maurice Colborne. Griffiths is played by Brian Glover. Russell is played by Terry Molloy, who plays also Devros in some episode. in other stories. Um, Payne is played by James Beckett. Cyber Leader is played by David Banks. Cyber Control is played by Michael Kilgariff. Floss is played by Faith Brown. Farn is played by Sarah Green. Bates is played by Michael Atwell. Stratton is played by Jonathan David. Cyber Lieutenant is played by Brian Oro. Cyberman is played by John Ainley. Bill is played by Stephen Jurset. David is played by Stephen Whale. Ross is played by Sarah Berger. And Trest is played by Esther Freud. So there are also other actors. This is one of the few. Some world building in his story about individuals. Leighton says that he comes from a satellite of Vita 15, of Riften 5, in the star system 690. Some world building species, cryons, are native to Talos. Already explained that a little bit. Some world building technology, three things. First is the Doctor almost fixed Stardust chameleon circuit. It becomes an ornamental wardrobe, pipe organ, and a metal gateway. A second thing is that the Cybermen still make use of tombs. And a third thing, technology is that when converting people, the Cybermen use a drug to affect the brain. Some world building in reference from the real world, four things. The Doctor and Perry view Hades' comment from the TARDIS. A second thing is that Doctor plays the opening of Johann Sebastian Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor on the TARDIS organ. Quote. Perry tells the Doctor he doesn't have to play the Lone Ranger. And a fourth thing is that Perry finds her and the Sixth Doctor's destination of London to be an anticlimax. Okay, some story notes. This is the only Cyberman story of the 1980s to feature the word Cyberman in the title. The second note is that Attack of the Cybermen was first broadcast in two weekly parts, beginning with the serial and continuing for the remainder of season 22. Episodes were 45 minutes in length, as opposed to previous episodes, which were 25 minutes long, for syndication. In some markets, this serial was re-edited into 4 25-minute segments. The cliffhangers to parts 1 and 3 are the emergence of the Cybermen's from sewer control and Floss revelation that the Cybermen intend to prevent Monda's destruction, respectively. Typically for this title sequence used from season 18 through 23, the story title and outer credit are rendered in all capital letters. Working titles for this story included A Return to Treelos and A Cold War. I already said it about that, but this is Terry Molloy's only on-screen appearance in Doctor Who, playing a character other than Davros. Molloy would then appear as Davros in Revelation of the Daleks, which ended the 22nd season. The season that began with Attack of the Cybermen. This meant that Molloy bookended the season. This story reuses some incidental music from Earthshock to establish the presence of the Cybermen. Earthshock was also the Cybermen. And that was a Fifth Doctor story with the Fifth Doctor, Peter Davison, with the companions Edric and Nissa and Tegan. Another thing is that this story introduced the Sixth Doctor spiritual equivalent, the sonic screwdriver, a portable sonic lens. After the screwdriver had been written out in TV story, The Visitation of the Fifth Doctor, Peter Davison. Another thing is that when the Doctor and Perry observe Hades' comment, the background music is Malcolm Clark's music for the 1981 BBC documentary The Comet is Coming. Original music can be heard on the CD BBC Radiophonic Workshop retrospective. Actually, there are some Doctor Who DVDs, by the way, for the music. It's also a good thing to talk about in short in live stream, but that's for later. Also interesting music by Doctor Who stored in episodes. Um, when the TARDIS lands in the junkyard, the music playing is a distorted version of the theme music to Steptoe and Son. It was a series with 1962 to 1974, a BBC sitcom about the father and son wreck and bone business. Original music was written by Ron Grenay, who also wrote the Doctor Who theme. Another thing about the story is that this story was chosen by fans to represent the Colin Baker era, by fans to be rebroadcast for Doctor Who at 40. Um, Another thing is that in the history of the universe and the two first editions of A History, the scenes set on Telos are arbitrarily dated to 2530, as is set after the Tomb of the Cybermen, with the second Doctor Peter Troughton. And third edition redates it circa 2495, based on evidence from the Cybermen audio series. Um, all the other things that the Resping heard by Payne in the series is a new addition to the Cybermen on television who are noticeably silent. Um, However, Ian Martyr's Earthshock novelization made frequent use of the square, making this the first of handful of allusions to the Target books adaptations. Others include rectifying the conflicting information surrounding the Cybermen's home planet and the Doctor's initial confusion of whether or not his second self had a flute or recorder in the two Doctors. Uh, a misapprehension inherited from Terence Dick's The Three Doctors. Two Doctors is a story with the sixth Doctor, Colin Baker, and the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, and also companions, Perry and Jamie. And Three Doctors is the story with John Pertwee and Patrick Troughton and William Hartnell. Another thing is that though he went uncredited, this is Pat Gorman's last performance in Doctor Who. Pat Gorman, folks, is very important in my opinion. He has played many stories. He's not. He was born in 1933 and died in 2018. By the way, Pat Gorman, sometimes credited as Patrick Gorman, played 73 roles in Doctor Who, ranking 7 in terms of appearing in the most serials. So yeah, very important. This man. Yeah. So big applause for him. But rest in peace. Okay. This story was rated M50 plus in Australia for low level violence. It's a little bit violence in it. um, okay. I think It's the most important things about the story notes about for this. Uh, uh, yeah. Actually, this is a story with film action and a little bit of violence. So, but yeah, okay, we will dive now into the continuity because it is good to mention this continuity. Also, every fan has his own interpretation about stories and episodes. To some extent, stories and episodes are related to each other, or referencing to each other, or linked to each other, or influence in some influence. And I have some things in continuity, and that is first, the Doctor decides to find a pleasant destination as a break from the bleakness of Yakanda. It's a reference to TV story The Twin Dilemma. Second thing is that once the comedian circuit begins functioning again, TARS lands at 76 Tartar's Lane, location where its police box exterior was imprinted on it. That is in the first on-screen story, An Unearthly Child with William Hartnell, his granddaughter Susan Foreman, Ian Chessington, the companion, and also companion Barbara White. And Ian and Barbara are school teachers. Third thing is that the Doctor, still confused by his regeneration, has called Perry the names of his past companions. Tegan, Zoe, and once even Jamie. When he notices the Doctor's lane sign, he calls Perry Susan. So, so the also in some stories you see also some things about that he is struggling with his regeneration. I rewatched the Attack I rewatched we call it the story. What was it? Let me think. Oh, let me think. Um, oh yeah, I watched today. I watched the Two Doctors. I was already talking about the Two Doctors, and then you also see he feels some things in his. Um, he also is saying about things like thing like um, yeah, maybe I have still have some difficulty with my regeneration or something like that. So I think in more stories of the Sixth Doctor, you see some things like uh, it's like if he's saying I'm still must recover from the regeneration. There's also some theory, I think. I have a live stream about the personality of Sixth Doctor, and I also discussed some things about his personality, but his quirks, his habits. So it's actually an interesting personality, the Sixth Doctor. So I highly recommend you to go to that live stream. I did it in past about the Sixth Doctor's personality, and also I have other doctors, all the other doctors, the personality of the other doctors in the in on the you can find the playlist on the channel. Yeah. So yeah, that was point three. That was the fact that he is still confused um, by his regeneration. Um, So Thor thinks that Perry claims the Doctor accidentally referred to her as Zodin at one point. The Doctor exclaims he hadn't thought about Zodin for years. And that is a thing about the five Doctors, where that's the 20th anniversary special. There we see the fifth Doctor, but also featuring the third Doctor, played by another actor. That was Richard Herndal, played the first Doctor. And there's also the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton. Third Doctor is also John Pertwee. Um, Actually, Tom Baker was not in it, but there are some. They arranged some. What do we call it? A doll or for? Yeah. Okay. So Tom Baker declined for this special, and there was some other appearance in that. Okay. By the way, Zodin. Fifth thing is that the Cybermen are cyber neomorphs. That is an audio to the ultimate Cyberman. The sixth thing is that Cybermen attempt to prevent the upcoming destruction of Mondes in December 1986. That's the TV story The Tenth Planet with William Hartnell. And also the companions Ben and Polly. Seventh thing is that the Doctor and Simon discussed their previous interaction on Telos. Dat is TV story De Top of the Simon met Patrick Troughton. Met James McCrimmon and Victoria Waterfield. Eighth thing is that the Simon once again utilized the London sewers. We see that in The Invasion. The Invasion is a second Doctor story, also with Jamie and Zoe, and also featuring the Brigadier and Benton. Another thing is that the Doctor recalls meeting Lytton while he was working for the Daleks. That is a reference to Resurrection of the Daleks, and that is a fifth Doctor story with Tegan and Turlough. The Cybermen have a spaceship on the dark side of the moon. They previously had a base there. Also see it also in the TV story The Invasion. Shortly afterwards, the Doctor and Perry would return to the London sewers as the Doctor detected a time wake in time vortex, which linked London in January 1986 to London in 1720. See that in prose time wake. Another thing that Perry claims that this is her first visit to London, although she previously visited the city in the company of the Fifth Doctor and Mem in both 1597 and 1483. There's a link to audio The Kingmaker. However, from Perry's point of view, it was the first time that she visited London in her own era. So, another thing is that the Doctor and Perry would later encounter time-traveling Cybermen from the distant future at Fells Point, Baltimore, Maryland, USA, in September 1984. That is a story, audio story, The Reaping. Another thing is that the Doctor temporarily repairs the TARDIS chameleon circuit. His fourth incarnation considers the idea of his future self repairing it vulgar. So as in the story, audio story, Light at the End. Though he would try to repair it himself close to the end of his life. We see that in TV story Logopolis. And the last thing in continuity is that the Doctor kept a crayon pendant in his sea chest. In audio, the Carrier Knight Cursed. Okay, and that's my friends and companions all about to say about the story. Some commercial. Sci-Fi Fantasy fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel for Doctor Who. Yes, Random because we discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books and music. Random because we will broadcast on non-fixed times, actually in many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random also because the fact is we have no guests or different guests. It depends on what you join me in live stream panel. If you want to join me in live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord or YouTube, and we'll look what is possible. And what is also possible is to invite me for your channel for a live stream or panel. What also want to contribute to your channel, make friends, and network. So I'm available to contribute to talk about things we're interested in. The Discord service called Random Entertainment Channel Attack Doctor Who. In this board, you find me very quick because I bump the server regularly. So cheers, mate. Have lots of fun. Your host, Enigmatic Joker. Yes. So I'm looking forward to meet you. Um, so I wish you a very, very nice day. And a new week is coming. So have a nice week also. And for now, bye bye. Bye bye.